Because I have evidence of that. Because
right, one moment.
There's a LAICON with a CANO.
Hi, is this Miss Palma?
Yes, this is Ms. Palma speaking.
Hi, I have Mr. Kono in the hearing office with me.
I have a scheduled hearing at 3:00, and I'm currently waiting for the call.
Okay, all right.
It shouldn't take long. I can call once the hearing is over.
Yeah, if you can email me, I'll just bring you into the conference call.
Can you please tell me the SHA number, because the 3:00 hearing might be this hearing. Is it doesn't it end in 4-3?
So Miss Palma was assigned to the 2 p.m. hearing. So let me call Miss Edwards.
Oh, I see.
And then
Denise Edwards.
Yeah, Miss Edwards, and there's one other.
The 2:00 hearing was for the FOIA request, California Public Records Information Act.
Right.
Yeah, that's excusable neglect, which is California code. I think it's like 443, and basically, I had a lot of problems with the library, and also I had a lot of problem with the ACMS, DSSCA portal, because I was trying to upload some documents, and there's a problem with that website, your website, because it will not accept my documents. So I have to send an email to the portal administrator.
So I'm going to call your 3 p.m. county reps, who are Miss Polanco and Miss Edwards.
Okay. 3 p.m.
Yeah.
LA County Appeals and State Hearing. This is Ms. Polanco. May I help you?
Hi, Ms. Polanco. This is Judge Yamswan. I'm here with Mr. Kono.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Let me put you on a brief hold. I'm going to bring Miss Edwards into the call as well.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Appeals and State Hearings. Ms. Edwards, may I help you?
Hi, Miss Edwards. This is Judge Yamswan. I'm here with Mr. Kono.
Yes.
Let me bring Miss Polanco on as well. She was on the other line. Miss Polanco, are you there?
Yes.
Miss Edwards?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, the record is open in case numbers 1048 86245 and 1048 86243 in the matter of Leo Kono. I'm Administrative Law Judge Andrea Yamswan, and I've been appointed by the California Department of Social Services to conduct this hearing.
Okay.
Today is May 18th, 2023. It's 3:09 p.m. I am in the hearings office with Mr. Kono, who is present in person. I am as well. Los Angeles County Representatives Denise Edwards and Lisette Polanco are appearing via telephone. All right. So, Mr. Kono, I understand that you had 2 issues for 3 p.m.
Might I ask a question regarding the attendees at this hearing?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to know if Denise Edwards has a family relationship or conflict of interest relationship with Kenneth Edwards and or Daphne at 2415 West 6th Street, which is the Wilshire Special 10, because Daphne is my DPSS worker at Wilshire Special 10. Do you have a family relationship or conflict of relationship with Daphne and or Kenneth Edwards, yes or no?
I have no relatives to work for DPSS.
Do you have any conflict, because your last name is Edwards, do you have any family relationship or conflict of interest relationship with Kenneth Edwards?
Miss Edwards, yes.
I have no relatives that work for Los Angeles County DPSS or otherwise.
Because you have the same last name as Kenneth Edwards.
All right. Miss Edwards said she does not have any relations that work at that office, and Edwards is not an uncommon name. So, are you satisfied with that testimony?
Well, in the future, I might ask for a on-the-road polygraph test, but for now, it's okay.
Well, let's take the oath. If everyone could raise their right hands. Do you swear or affirm, Mr. Kono, under penalty of perjury, that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
I swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth and the whole truth, so help me God.
Miss Edwards?
Yes, I do.
Ms. Polanco?
I do.
Thank you. All right. So the first issue that I see, Mr. Kono, that you requested a hearing on is you wanted $40 to replace wet clothes and other wet items from the rain.
Okay. Well, 2 years ago, my DPSS workers were Kareem Gazarian and Rodney Williams, which I believe have been murdered, along with Violetta Turpagoshian and Alina Habnation. And also, there was somebody else who was pretending to be my dependent or significant other by the name of Deja, D-E-J, Deja Fattrell. I believe she's also been murdered. So because of corruption that's going on, all the people that I mentioned have been murdered. And so what was the original question?
You asked for $40 to replace clothes.
So Kareem Gazarian and Rodney Williams, they used to give me a $40 allowance every time it rained because my items get destroyed. I was staying, I might be under the FBI Federal Witness Protection Program, which is governed by the United States Armed Forces and the military. And originally I got this because I went over to the 11,000 Wilshire Boulevard FBI campus, and then they relocated me to the Santa Monica Beach. So basically, when it rains, all of my items get destroyed. On top of that, they deliberately and intentionally, for attempted homicide, infected the sand at the beach with termite man-eating lice. And if you don't believe me, you can look at my legs. I have leeches and scabs, and also on my neck over here, which is very deadly. And this is why I asked for an expedited hearing, which was denied all the time. The expedited, and I'm bleeding, and I'm walking around with antibacterial wipes, 75% alcohol wipes, and these are all products that I need. So when it rains, on top of that, the rain is not just regular rain, because this rain turns into leeches, and I can prove it because of my legs. And on top of that, I tried to get replacement clothes from Faith Tabernacle Church and also from Los Angeles Midnight and also from Sova. And instead of giving me replacement clothes, they gave me clothes that were infected with syphilis and gonorrhea. And the beach, the sand has like Agent Orange and monkeypox and chickenpox and smallpox. And I can show you, if you don't believe me, you can just look at my body. I have these leeches, chickenpox, I have, you name it. I have all kinds of problems that I've been fighting, that I've been bleeding at the Central Library, and it's very painful. And I've been asking for an expedited hearing, but it was denied every time. So my point is that when it rains, it's not just regular rain, because I believe that this rain, because most of the defendants in my lawsuit, because I am a plaintiff and also a Supreme Court petitioner in California Supreme Court case number S277250, and also a trial court, which is Stanley Moss Courthouse Superior Court case number 20-STCB-27747. I'll repeat it again, 20-STCB-47749, Department 17, John R. Tagasugi. So my point is that I also asked the courthouse for witness accommodations, a request for witness disability accommodation. That was denied. And I am indigent right now, but I used to be a successful computer consultant, an independent computer consultant. I used to work on Wall Street for like 33 years, and also North Jersey pharmaceutical firms. And my money was stolen, and then some of the money went into restitution centers, and I've been trying to get the money out. And George Gasson, along with Summer Hawkins, a.k.a. Michelle Daniels, and Jessica Amanda Garcia, and also Tracy Anderson, they were served a deposition subpoena by Los Angeles County Sheriff, and they're in contempt of court, along with Tracy Green, Tracy Williams, and Christina Ajar. They're in contempt of court. So my original point is that there's acid rain coming from the garbage dumps of New Jersey, and also I believe from parts of Canada. And this is not like they are controlling the weather. They are controlling the rain clouds. And 2 months ago, they deliberately and intentionally had the rain clouds go right over the Santa Monica Beach, and it was terrestrial rain. It was a terrestrial rain. It was like a nor'easter where it was a downpour, terrestrial rain that lasted at least 8 hours straight, and then it went on for like 2 or 3 weeks. So that rain is acid rain that turned into leeches, man-eating leeches.
So can I, since we have the county workers here, Are you receiving CalWorks benefits right now or CalFresh benefits right now?
I am not receiving CalWorks benefits because my stepdaughter and my stepson were murdered.
Okay.
So I no longer want the CalWorks. However, there is fraud going on with DPSS because at that time it was a lien validation at the Metro North office.
Are you receiving CalFresh benefits?
I am receiving CalFresh benefits, but I am contesting the amount, I believe, of $281. And also the emergency allotments are irrelevant. And I'm quoting to you the State of California Code, Welfare and Institutions Code 17109, which talks about indigent within a state, because there are classes of recipients. Because I've read the policy manual, and Jonathan Wang, on a previous hearing in the year 2020, he quoted 22-001 through the end, I believe, like 22-008 of the appeals hearing and administrative law judge and the appeals hearing policy manual. And in there is 22-003, which specifically says that there are classes of recipients, and there is the wisdom of the administrative law judge, and also it's based on calculations of benefits to be received by the recipient.
Okay, so can I just stop you right there?
Right.
Are you aware that the emergency allotments stopped at the end of February?
The emergency allotments are irrelevant to WIC 17109 because, first of all, the county is supposed to provide food and shelter for me because I am in classes of recipients. I am not indigent. I am temporarily robbed. I'm a successful computer consultant. I didn't come to Los Angeles without a pot to piss in. I was hired by City National Bank as assistant vice president, and I'm a victim of domestic violence that has caused me to be homeless. So what I'm saying is that when I spoke to Kareem Gazarian, when I spoke to Rodney Williams, they said that we cannot help you for victim of crimes. We cannot help you for domestic violence because you are indigent, and we only have one program for indigents, which is at the Weingart. It's a mental health hospital. I said, I'm not going to be incarcerated at a mental health hospital, the Weingart, where people get murdered there on a regular basis. I don't belong there. I'm not mentally ill. I don't have an STD. I don't have COVID-19. There is nothing wrong with me other than my money is stolen and I'm temporarily robbed. So I refuse to go to a Weingart where I'm going to get assassinated there to be a witness.
So let me just ask Ms. Polanco or Ms. Edwards, if either of you know, is Mr. Kono receiving the maximum amount of benefits for his household size currently for CalFresh?
This is Ms. Edwards. Yes, he is, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I would like to object to what you just said, and I would like to state an opposition.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, my opposition is that there is DPSS worker fraud because you have entered zero for adjustments, and I have provided evidence that shows Kareem Gazarian and Rodney Williams that used to have 3 line items for adjustments, expenses, and deductions. Those 3 line items. I believe that back in 2020, there was a line item that had an amount of like $100 or $200. If you look at my evidence, you will see it. And now that adjustment is zero, and I filled out the online application with the LRS numbers, and I also filled out the SAR 7, which included a list of my expenses, deductions, and adjustments. It used to be $5,000, but because now I am a petitioner in the Supreme Court, and with my legal expenses and also hotel expenses because of inflation. Food has gone up, and also because of me, believe it or not, I don't want to toot my own horn, but because of me, Los Angeles County has, the tourists and people visiting Los Angeles County has increased tenfold, if not more, because of me. And so the hotel prices have gone up. I used to have to pay $150 a night, which includes taxes and resort fees, and I wonder how much it is now. And I need to stay at a secure hotel, because I'm a victim of crimes of domestic violence, and I'm also contesting the corruption that's going on. I'm a witness to the corruption. And so people are trying to assassinate me and kill me on a daily basis. And they're trying to say that I'm mentally ill in New Jersey, which I'm not. I'm still like Henry Hill, and I'm fighting the organized crime rings that are going on. And so what I'm saying to you is that the line item has zero. And if you look at my expenses, it's $10,000. How can you put zero for adjustments when I have showed you expenses that are $10,000, but you've entered zero? So if you go to the policy manual, 22-003, it talks about the administrative law judge and calculations of benefits to the recipient. Those calculations are zero. I added $10,000, but for the calculations, you included zero. You entered zero. And also the classes of recipients, you're treating me like an indigent. You're treating me like I'm mentally ill. I'm not mentally ill. I'm a successful computer consultant who's temporarily robbed. And I'm fighting this in the Supreme Court of California. And on top of that, it talks about the wisdom of the administrative law judge, which is why I'm now going to file a motion to produce qualification on Jonathan Wang and probably also Denise Edwards, because I want to see what kind of qualifications you have to be an administrative law judge. I went to the
Can I stop you right there? Can I stop you right there?
Board, and
Mr. Kono?
Minimum qualifications for administrative law judges. Do you have the minimum qualifications? Did you attend a university? Can you produce a Homeland Security I-9 form because you're in contempt of court with Tracy Green Williams and Christina Hajar? And basically, can you pass a criminal background check and a drug and alcohol test? These are the qualifications that I want to see, because if you look at the 2203, it mentions the qualification, it mentions the wisdom of the administrative law judge. So if the administrative law judge is entering zero for adjustments when I have $10,000, obviously I want to check qualifications. And on top of that, I'm quoting WIC 17109, which talks about my money that is in restitution centers. All you have to do, I believe that at least $1.5 million there, and also my father's will, $1.8 billion, which I can prove by the U.S. Attorney, Saran McEvoy, and the Perfectus Illumina that was recently indicted and arrested. So what I'm saying to you is that you can go to restitution centers, and George Gasson, along with Summer Hawkins, Michelle Daniels, Tracy Anderson, and also Jessica Amanda Garcia of Perfectus Aluminum, they were all arrested for going into restitution centers and stealing my money. And I'm saying to you that if you get the 1.5 million, which I know for a fact is there, because George Gasson is in contempt of court, and he won't even give me access to those records based on California Public Records Information Act and the federal government FOIA requests, he won't even give me access to restitution centers. And what I'm saying to DPSS and VSS, what I'm saying to the Department of Social Services is that you have to pay for my food, you have to pay for my shelter and my items, like, for example, I didn't take a shower in 2.5 years. There are no shower facilities in Los Angeles County at all, and I didn't take a shower in 2.5 years, which is why I have this problem with leeches. And so I'm saying to you that you should go to restitution centers and use that 1.5 million as collateral. I mean, you can actually send George Gasson, the district attorney, a bill, and you can pay for all of my costs, and the money that's left over you can give to me, because that was my $1.5 million that I worked for 33 years as a computer consultant to earn that money, and George Gasson stole it. And he's in contempt of court, which is why I'm getting enforcement by the California Highway Patrol, Department of National Intelligence, the DIA, Defense Intelligence Agency, and the NSA. And I have all the federal agencies involved here because George Gasson is stealing my life savings, and DPSS can just go to George Gasson and take the money that you need based on WIC 17109, which talks about jurisdiction, because I was living at 74 Center Avenue, apartment 477, Huntington Beach, California, which I was paying $26,500 a month rent. So you can tell that I'm not a bum off the street. I'm not indigent. I was paying $26,500 a month. Okay, so I was taking 710 Express Plus to City National Bank, and City National Bank, along with Citigroup, is involved in this corruption because Jamie Dimon, aka Alberto Diamante, he also put septic tanks in my house at 326 Rockridge Court, Franklin Lakes, New Jersey, that I found out, that contain methane and crystal meth and all kinds of drugs in there. So I believe that City National Bank hired me for the motive of pillaging my family and pillaging and murder for money. I believe that City National Bank and Jamie Dimon are also involved here, which is why I'm in the Supreme Court fighting my case. But what I'm saying to Los Angeles County DPSS is that you have to provide food and shelter for me based on Welfare and Institutions Code in general. However, my case is even more specific because it's WIC 17109, which is indigent with an estate. I have 1.5 million or 1.8 billion for a fact that I have 1.5 million in restitution centers. I don't know if you receive that as a kickback. So the same defendants that receive that money as a kickback do not want to pay it back because you have already been paid that money on a kickback. You don't want to pay it back. But you can just go to restitution centers and you can prosecute George Gasson and his staff, and whatever costs you need for hotel, showers, medical care, food, you can just deduct it from the 1.5 million, and whatever is left over, you can give to me. And you cannot use the case that you're taking the 1.5 million for me and others, because I am an individual. So you cannot say that classes of recipients, that I'm domestic violence or I am victim of crimes, and other people like me, like Deja Patrell or other people like me, are also domestic violence and victim of crimes. And so you got to take the 1.5 million and you're going to pay for my costs, and you're also going to keep all the money because you're going to say that other people like me, that you're paying for them, because that money belongs to me. I worked for that money. That's 33 years of my hard work that was stolen. So like I said, I'm not indigent. I'm a victim of domestic violence, and I'm temporarily robbed.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Edwards, Ms. Polanco, has there been a break in benefits at any point for the claimant within the last 3 months?
Your Honor, there was a break due to a late receipt of SAR 7, SAR 7. The benefits were restored on May 4th.
What was the period when he didn't receive benefits?
There was no period.
Okay, so it was restored and
Objection.
Yes.
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, so they're stealing my mail at 1055 North Vigna Street, the General Delivery USPS office in Los Angeles, 1055 North Vigna Street, General Delivery, Los Angeles, California, 90012. There is a mail clerk there. Her name is Tressa Williams, and she also works for the IRS, and she also goes by the name Miss Lamour, and she was incarcerated for stealing my mail because she has stolen my U.S. Census Bureau. I was given a U.S. Census Bureau job, and it was stolen by her, along with my IRS whistleblower checks of $175,000 was stolen by Tressa Williams, and I have evidence of this because she has IRS forgery letters. And now there is somebody else working there, which I believe is like Tressa Williams, Miss Lamour's niece or granddaughter, and she's committing the same crimes that Miss Lamour is committing because she stole my. I went to the 8th Street Social Security office, and I went with Miss Medina, who's cousins with Amanda Jessica Garcia, who was probably arrested for Ceramic McEvoy Perfectus Aluminum arrest of $1.8 billion from my father's will at TD Ameritrade. And so what's going on is that she is stealing my mail. She's stolen my Social Security card with Miss Medina at the 8th Street office. She's stolen my phone. And when I received that letter of the hearing, I had the envelope, which proves that by the time I received it, and because she doesn't give me the mail on time, she'll give me the mail like 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later. They're holding my mail and also stealing my mail. So you can't say that I missed the SAR 7 because I'm not getting my mail from the general delivery clerks at the USPS 1055 North Vigna Street.
Okay, your objection is noted. Is there anything, Ms. Edwards or Ms. Polanco, that any arguments or information that you prepared that you'd like to share with Mr. Kono today?
This is Ms. Edwards. No, I do not, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Polanco?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
This is Lisa Polanco. Everything's in the statement of position.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Kono, is there anything else that we have not discussed that you'd like to discuss?
There is.
All right, go ahead.
So when I originally applied for benefits, there are 3 LRS numbers: one CalWorks, one CalFresh, and one for General Delivery Cash Aid. Now I was receiving General Delivery Cash Aid, and then Rodney Williams, I had email conversation with him, and he's saying that I missed the interview, so he proceeded to steal my cash aid for like 2 years, and I have to reapply. And then as far as CalFresh is concerned, I'm only getting $280 a month, and based on WIC 17109, that you can take my money out of the $1.5 million from restitution centers and then reimburse me for whatever is left over from your costs. What I'm saying to you is that there is inflation here. I used to go to a 99-cent store. I used to buy bread for 99 cents. Now if I go to a 99-cent store, bread is like $2.50. I can't get almost anything for 99 cents. I'm lucky I won today. I'm happy that DPSS has this policy, which with the SNAP ABT has to go down to 0 before they even assign you, even they give you extra emergency allotments for CalFresh. And it's like very embarrassing because I got to go there and I got like $1.50, and I gotta go there and I gotta buy something for 99 cents. I gotta search the whole store. There is nothing there for 99 cents anymore. Milk has gone up, bread has gone up, hotel stay has gone up. There is so much inflation that the 99-cent store is not even a 99-cent store anymore. It's more like a $2.50 store. And sometimes they have this food, which they sell at Ralph's and Vons, which goes for like $2.50 there. They're like snapbacks. And they give it to you for 50 cents each or $1 each. But those, snap pack, I don't know what they're called, they're little lunch packs, they're not always there, and also the programs do not work because I was also in Las Vegas, and they're saying that I'm not a resident of Las Vegas, and they also stole my lawsuits, and they will not give me a safe ride home, so I had to walk out of Las Vegas back to Los Angeles. And I went there because I'm also a singer, and I try to make it as a singer. I'm also a promoter on YouTube, and I believe I have the #1 channel on YouTube based on a number of months. I think I have like 1 million page views a month. I think I have the Google YouTube #1 channel. It's called Leo LAICON. So what I'm saying is that I went to Las Vegas to become a singer, and my lawsuit was thrown, which is why I came back. And so we're talking about CalFresh and inflation. And what I'm saying to you is that even when I was in Las Vegas, they have programs like Faith Tabernacle Church and Sova and the Midnight Mission. And the programs in Las Vegas, they're not so bad. The programs in Los Angeles are really bad. In Las Vegas, I was taking a shower once a week. They give you, the Catholic Charities was allowing me to take a shower once a week. Here in Los Angeles, I didn't take a shower in 2.5 years. And this is attempted homicide. And also here in Los Angeles, there are layers of people who are stealing and embezzlement. There are layers of embezzlement. So, people are paid and the programs are paid, and then they have managers that are maintaining, operators and managers that are maintaining the food pantries, and they're getting a layer. And then they have workers that they hire, they're getting a layer. So the embezzlement is almost 100%. The actual, for example, I am currently homeless right now. I'm currently indigent, but I'm really temporarily robbed. But when I go there, if I go there too many times, they're going to contaminate my food. I'll be sick as a dog. I'll have strep throat. I'll have malaria. They're trying to kill me with contaminating the food. And on top of that, if I get rained on, I used to get a $40 allowance. If I get rained on, I have to replace my bag. I have to replace my blanket because it's not just wet. I'm only getting $221 on cash aid, and that's just recently because I went 2 years without any cash aid at all. And also my CAED unemployment insurance is also being stolen, which is another lawsuit that I have going on. And so I for 2 years I didn't have any aid at all. And if my items get wet, I cannot go to the laundromat and wash my clothes and then dry them because I have no money. I don't have money to file my taxes. I didn't take a shower in 2.5 years. So the programs in Los Angeles, and I didn't close to the programs in Las Vegas, because the programs in Las Vegas, they let you take a shower once a week, and they provide clothes for you that are not infected with syphilis and gonorrhea. So they're not trying to kill you there. They did steal my lawsuits, and I have to leave for that reason. But here, there's a genocide, ethnic cleansing murder factory going on, because if I go to the food pantries too many times, they're going to try to kill me by contaminating the food or give me clothes with infected clothes that is giving me syphilis and gonorrhea. And because I cannot take a shower, I cannot cure myself. And luckily, I was giving $221 again, and I spent almost all that money buying zinc, which is like an antibiotic, and other vitamins to keep me alive. And in Las Vegas, they have programs that work, but here, there was so much embezzlement going on. There were so many layers because it's managers, and then managers hire workers that the actual victims, the indigent people, the recipients, are getting almost none of that money because if they go there more than a month or two, they get murdered. So I don't believe, I think that there is a major problem going on with the programs in Los Angeles, like Los Angeles Mission, the Midnight Mission, Faith Tabernacle Church, Sova, all of these places. If you go there too many times, they're going to try to kill you. This is not what's going on in Las Vegas. Over here, I cannot take a shower in 2.5 years. So back to the CalFresh, I'm only getting $280. And with inflation, if I was to go at the 99-cent store and buy these snack packs for 50 cents each or a dollar each or a dollar 50 each, I might be able to make it for a whole month at $280. But they're not always there. And they're deliberately intentionally keeping them there when I run out of money. And most of the time I go there, if I'm lucky, if I can get it 1, 2, or 3 times. They say that Jack in the Box accepts Snap EBT. I went to Jack in the Box so many times. I think I went there like 3 or 4 times in a row, and they gave me strep throat, and they gave me a flu that lasted a month and a half because the people at Jack in the Box are not getting paid by FIS Global, who manages Snap EBT. It's gotten so bad that when they send in a bill to FIS Global, the store and the restaurant do not get paid. So they don't want you going there. They don't want you going there because they don't get paid. So the programs do not work. And the $280, if you do the math, if you buy bread for $2.50 and you buy something to drink, it normally comes out to like $20 a day, if not $30 a day. And even if you live on bread and water, you still cannot make it on $280 a day. And why should I live on bread and water when I'm a successful computer consultant from Wall Street and my money was stolen by George Gasson, the district attorney? And you can take my money of $1.5 million and pay for all costs that I need, or you can just give me my $1.5 million, and I won't be coming to DPSS or CAED unemployment insurance. I have a pot to piss in. I have $1.5 million. I have $1.8 billion that was stolen from me. My code was stolen by Priscilla Chan and Mark Zuckerberg. I'm like the Winklevoss twins. I'm not an indigent. I'm temporarily robbed. I'm a billionaire and my money was stolen. So get my money from restitution centers of $1.5 million. I won't be coming to DPSS. I won't be coming to CAED unemployment insurance. But DPSS workers have a family relationship with people who have stolen my money. And the same people who stole my money are now stifling me and financially suffocating me because it is attempted homicide, it's admission of guilt, and they want to complete the crime because they received the kickback money and they don't want to pay back. On top of that, the money that they're receiving, they're not paying taxes. And for example, there are migrant workers, which are illegal immigrants, migrant workers from South America and other foreign nations that are receiving more benefits than me. And there's a program for refugees of other countries. You can consider me to be an American refugee. I paid into the system for 33 years as a computer consultant. These illegal immigrants and migrant workers are getting benefits, and I am an American citizen, and I am a victim of crimes of domestic violence, and I get zero, and they're getting benefits, and I'm not. And on top of that, they're getting benefits because they're giving kickbacks to DPSS workers and sending money back to their countries for money laundering, which is why now Janet Yellen, the Treasury Secretary, has announced that the U.S. is default because they have completely drained the money in the Treasury to pay for benefits and people's inheritance and people's wills and estate and people's life savings. That all this money, nobody's paying taxes anymore because everybody's bartering, which is why the U.S. dollar or currency is default right now because there's so much bartering going on with other countries that nobody wants to spend U.S. dollar currency anymore. And this is because of embezzlement of DPSS, government benefits, embezzlement of disability insurance, unemployment insurance, people's life savings, people's investment accounts at TD Ameritrade. There's so much stealing going on and there's so much laundering going on that now the U.S. is default, as announced by Janet Yellen with a June 1, 2023 deadline.
Thank you. So what I'm hearing from you is the CalFresh benefits that you're receiving right now is not enough to cover the cost in grocery prices and for you to feed yourself well over the course of the month.
I challenge anybody in the state of California, I challenge anybody whatsoever to live on $280 because you cannot go to a program because they deliberately intentionally infect your food or give you clothes that are contaminated with syphilis and gonorrhea, and they try to kill you. And so I challenge anybody to live on $280. You can't even live on bread and water for $280. And if that's the case, my money of $1.5 million is in the district attorney's office. Why should I have to live on bread and water when I worked 33 years for life savings?
Okay. And then do you have any other issues concerning your CalFresh benefits?
I do. The other issue is that, one, I had, when my worker was Rodney Williams and Kareem Kazir, the other worker, they used to give me rain allowance because I have to replace all my items. For example, if they get wet, at the minimum, I got to go to laundromat and get them washed and dried. And because of the infections and the bacteria, the sand, because they relocated me to Santa Monica Beach, and as you can tell by this scabs and leeches that I have all over my body, I have like 100 scabs all over my body. So still like being in Desert Storm as a soldier in Desert Storm, almost the same thing, you know. I think for the last almost 4 years that I've been here in Los Angeles, I've been treated worse than John McCain, who was a prisoner of war. And so what I'm saying is that my money for cash aid was being stolen for 2 years, and I was receiving no cash aid.
During what year? What years?
From, I believe, from August 2020 to about 5 months ago. The cash aid was stolen, and I had to reapply. On top of that, I was receiving the tap card of $40 or $60 by Olga Miranda. And recently, well, I shouldn't say recently, but last year, you know, I'm going from the Santa Monica Beach to the Central Library because I tried to buy a computer, but I'm also fighting Mary Prentice, who has stolen my house at 326 Rockridge Court, Franklin Lakes, New Jersey, 07417. And so she's part of the CIA, along with my ex-brother-in-law, Larry Moran, and Adam Mazza, who's also operating Los Angeles County with stolen properties because of Mary Hearn, who's in charge of the 5th floor sheriff's office, Santa Monica Courthouse. So Adam Mazza is operating towers and buildings that are stolen, and there's no deeds and there's no building certificates. And so he's part of the CIA, which is why he's getting away with it, along with Mary Prentice, who's also a leader. According to my due diligence, I found out that Mary Prentice, her real name is Lynn Kelly Carol Brescia Murray. She was married to the actor Bill Murray. And they're all like Irish Republican Army terrorist leaders. So she has corrupted the CIA, and also the United States Office of Special Counsel with Chauncey Lawson and Catherine King, which is part of the Louis Farrakhan Milton occult that is assaulting me all the time. Assault with a deadly weapon, I should say. So what I'm saying here is that my money was stolen from 2020, along with my unemployment insurance, to financially suffocate me and stifling me. And 2 years ago, I did have $40, $60, but because of the corruption, this one Hispanic Metro Police, who I believe is part of Allied Universal, and I believe that because I have a lawsuit against Allied Universal, you know, they're retaliating against me. And he gave me a ticket, but because I am under a federal witness protection program, I'm allowed to ride the Metro because I have to go from Santa Monica Beach to the Central Library. But recently, you know, they're checking the tap card, and the money that I'm receiving, $221, I'm using for tap card. I'm using to buy vitamins and zinc and antibiotic in vitamin form. I'm using for antibacterial wipes. I'm using for clothes. I'm using for underwear. I'm using for personal hygiene products. And it's not even enough to $221 because I also have legal expenses. I have no money for Google Drive storage or Microsoft email and their storage, online accounts. I'm also a victim of crimes from Kenneth Edwards, which I believe Denise Edwards has a relationship with, either conflict of interest or family relationship. And Kenneth Edwards, along with this, Kenneth Edwards is running California Lifeline and Assurance Wireless and AT&T H2O Wireless. And they have stolen my phone. They have stolen my phone number. I have no telephone. I have no text messaging. I have no Wi-Fi, email. I applied back in November of 2022. I applied for the California Lifeline Federal ACP plan, and I was approved. After from August to November, I was fighting to get the Federal Unlimited Data ACP, and I was approved. And then after I was approved, California Lifeline and Ken Edwards, because they want to steal my lawsuits, they said that I'm not using my Assurance Wireless phone when I'm using it every day, and I have to reapply. And my items got wet from the rain, terrestrial rain, and so they stole my phone number. And I have so many phones. I have over 10 phones. Each phone has evidence of the numbers they have stolen, like 310, 3838759 was stolen.
Can I interrupt you, Mr. Kono, real quick?
Stolen.
So, Ms. Edwards or Ms. Polanco, when was the last time that Mr. Kono was receiving CalWorks benefits?
When was the last time he was issued?
Yeah.
CalWorks benefits?
CalWorks.
You said CalWorks?
Yes.
He's a TR recipient. So you want us to look in his case record to see when the last CalWorks case was?
Yeah, when his CalWorks case was last open.
I'll check. Just give me a second, please.
Thank you.
And I'll let you know shortly.
I can give you an answer on that. Basically, I was going to the Metro North office with Lena Nation and Eduardo Alvarado, and I had a separate LRS application number for that, and also I have a file number, which is why I requested a hearing at 2 o'clock for a FOIA request, a California Public Records Information Act request.
So that county representative is available now. So let's wrap up this hearing. I'll have Ms. Polanco look up your CalWorks information, and once we're done,
we wrap up this hearing, because the main point, the statement of position of this hearing is jurisdiction, because the state is saying they have no jurisdiction, and the county is saying they have no jurisdiction based on a policy manual 21-001 through whatever. Right. But I'm saying that if you look at if you look at 22-003, it talks about classes of recipients, it talks about wisdom of the administrative law judge and qualifications of the administrative law judge, and also the ability to produce Department of Homeland Security I-9 form and a criminal background check and drug and alcohol testing. And it also talks about calculations. So I would like an answer on the calculations, yes or no. I would like an answer on the classes of recipients, and I would like an answer on the qualifications. So let's start with the classes of recipients.
All right, let me just pause. I'm gonna bring in the other county rep. Okay, so let me just put the 2 county reps who are on the phone on hold, and I'm going to call the other county rep.
Good afternoon, this is Ms. Palma speaking.
Hi, Ms. Palma. This is Judge Yamswan. I have Mr. Kono, and I have the Ms. Palma. I have Mr. Kono here, as well as Ms. Edwards and Ms. Polanco.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And what is everyone's availability? Are you all available after 4 p.m. or do you have to go at 4 p.m.?
I'm available until I leave at 5, and I am willing to do the afternoon if the claimant is available.
Okay, and that's Ms. Palma?
Yes.
Okay.
This is Polanco. I'm here till 6.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Edwards? Did we lose Ms. Edwards?
5 o'clock.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor?
Yes.
This is Ms. Palma.
Yes.
And I know it has nothing to do with the other 2 specialists. However, I do have 2 hearings scheduled for Mr. Kono, one for today and one for Tuesday.
Okay.
Since he is an in-person, his hearing is in person, will we be covering the hearing for next Tuesday, or will he be coming back?
I am, to my knowledge, I will not be handling the in-person hearings next week. Mr. Kono, are you coming back here next week?
Well, my answer is irrelevant if you can't make it.
Well, it'll be another judge.
It'll be another judge.
Yeah.
So
different judges get assigned for the in-person hearings.
I don't mind coming back, but what is the statement of position for next week?
It has been sent out. It's a dismissal. According to the review, the claimant is appealing GR benefit amount. However, GR benefits is not within jurisdiction of general relief benefit is not within jurisdiction of the state. Therefore, the county is requesting a dismissal. Okay.
Well, I want to come back for that hearing. However, I do want to address the jurisdiction because you have quoted jurisdiction in, I've been to maybe over 5 or over 7 appeal
That is an issue for next week.
DSS DSS appeal hearings, which is the ACMS, which is why I'm here now. And I've been to other appeal hearings, and you keep quoting jurisdiction, but I am objecting to that, and my opposition is 22-003, which I want to address right now. So when I come back next week, the question of jurisdiction is also applicable to the statement of position for this hearing. It's applicable to this hearing, but it's also applicable to next week's hearing, which is jurisdiction. Because you keep getting out of these hearings with jurisdiction, and why I want to talk to you about the objections that I have and my opposition.
Okay, so let me circle back to Ms. Polanco. Have you looked up the info about CalWorks?
Yeah, under this case number L0D23E2, there was an application filed on October 28, 2019. This application was denied. Then there was a reapplication, appears to be on February 23rd, 2023, when this application was denied.
Okay. I can tell you why it was denied.
All right, but was he ever receiving CalWorks benefits, to your knowledge?
Right now, I was actually going to continue searching based on his VIN number to see if there's any history of it. I don't have that answer to yet.
Okay.
Next week?
Mr. Kono, so we've discussed CalWorks, we've discussed CalFresh. We have Ms. Palma now, who's, well, let me just say, Ms. Palma is available now to discuss your case file issue about requesting case files from the county.
I think that you're playing like a shell game here. You know, we're talking about one statement of position, and I want to stay on track with what we're talking about. And then you're asking people if they can stay late for the hearing, and then she's talking about something else. So let's stick to one statement of position at a time, because I'm still on the statement of position of jurisdiction and 22-003. And now you're saying that I went and applied for the application. And the reason why it was denied is because I was trying to apply for TAP card. And when I go to apply for TAP card, you don't have a specific category for TAP card. So I had to go with the category which I think was applicable, because your website has problems. On top of that, they stole my phone. I can't even get into your website because I cannot receive a text message, because Kenneth Edwards, along with Denise Edwards and Daphne and Will Smith, the movie actor, and his son James Smith, and the wife Deborah Smith, who works for Conduit, Allied Universal at 100 Campus Drive, Florham Park, New Jersey, and also Costa Mesa, California, Nordic Security, and Office of Special Counsel and their contractors. They have stolen my phone many times, and so I cannot receive text messages. On top of that, Adam Mazza works for the CIA, and they're using direct link software to come into my phone. I am facing denial of service attack, and I can tell by running services. They lock my phone. I cannot use my phone. I used to be able to use my phone to edit Word documents and produce litigation documents. Now they lock my phone. I cannot even work with my phone. They're using CIA direct link software to also go into Central Library computers, and they deleted my files. I worked with my files at Central Library computers for 2 hours. They're using direct link software to also delete my files from the library in addition to my phone. And this is Kenneth Edwards and Conduit and Will Smith is the son of Kenneth Edwards, along with Deborah Smith. And this major conflict of interest and antitrust monopoly going on that needs to be broken up on a divestiture similar to AT&T and Maria Bucks and Kika Van Ness Piers, because they have every angle covered. They have California Lifeline, they have Assurance Wireless, they have ACP, they have Conduit, which is the customer service company for every imaginable United States of America online and customer service, and also online and a Social Security card, unemployment insurance, Bank of America benefits card, Regina Richards. So my point is that I cannot receive text messages, and I was trying to find a category to get my TAP card, because I wanted to have an appeal hearing on the TAP card, because Olga Miranda used to give me $40, $60 on a TAP card, and you don't, on your website, you don't have a category for TAP card, so I had to apply for, I think, CalWorks, and whatever I applied for. And that's the reason why it was denied, because I have 3 LRS applications, and one was the General Relief Cache that Rodney Williams, along with Myra Jerez and Juliet Zargarian, they were stealing my GR Cache, and they forced me to reapply for cash aid. And I also applied for tap card, which was denied. So, and also the website has a problem because I cannot even get into the website because I have two-step, two-form authentication. I cannot receive the text message because you have an antitrust monopoly going on with Kenneth Edwards and Allied Universal and also Special Counsel and the CIA, because I cannot receive a text message. Therefore, I cannot get into the Benefits Cal website because I cannot receive a two-step, two-form authentication text message. And I've been asking for assistance. On top of that, your website, you don't even have a contact us. I don't have a phone because I'm a victim of domestic violence and a victim of crimes. And for that reason, they keep stealing my phone and my phone numbers. So I don't have a phone available to me. I don't have text messaging available to me. I don't have data Wi-Fi on my phone available to me. And on your website, on the contact us, you have a phone number. You want me to call in. I don't have a phone to call in. I've tried to call in from a public phone. You cannot even find a public phone. You have to go looking all over the place. There is like one public phone that I know works. And I have to like go out of my way and travel like 8 miles just to get to this phone. And then when I get to this phone, Allied Universal, they have their drivers. They're like Mario Andretti on the Indianapolis 500. They start like speeding and flooring it and making all kinds of noise when on the phone. And this is part of the Allied Universal conduit Office of Special Counsel because they're trying to obstruct me from using the phone. And that's like the only payphone that I know. So I don't understand why Benefits Cal doesn't have either a contact email address or a contact us web form where I can just tell you that I need to take off the two-step, two-form authentication. I can't get into the website. So, which is the reason why I've been using the ACMS website instead, rather. And so my point is also that we're all over the place, and I want to stick to one statement of position. And right now, this is like diversion. I call what you're doing right now is diversion because first you're trying to find out if you're available for 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock and the next hearing, and then you're saying that my application was denied, and I have to tell you that it was denied because I couldn't find a proper category because your website doesn't work. But let's go back to the previous statement of position, which is what the statement of position of this hearing is about, which is jurisdiction, and also the next hearing, which is jurisdiction, and which is why I want to have a conversation with you because I have conducted my due diligence on the policy manual and the WIC policy manual on the appeals hearing, and 22-003 talks about classes of recipients, calculations of benefits, and also wisdom and qualifications of the administrative law judge. So the first thing that I want to ask Denise Edwards, and you will answer yes or no under oath, is do you have various classes of recipients, yes or no? Do you have only indigent, or do you have a category for victim of crimes, and do you have a category for domestic violence, and do you have other categories? Because I know that the DPSS workers are receiving kickbacks for prostitution. For example, like Gavin Newsom used to be a Chippendale dancer with Anthony D'Arienzo, and they have like these pretty boys from Chippendales that are giving them sex. And instead of being called indigent, they're being called a different class of recipient, and they're receiving upgraded benefits. In my case, I should also be receiving upgraded benefits because I'm a victim of crimes and domestic violence, and I have money in restitution centers that George Gasson and his staff is stealing from me that you can take as reimbursement. So I am not indigent, I'm temporarily robbed. And the first question that I have for you, Ms. Denise Edwards, is do you have classes of recipients as quoted in 22-003, yes or no?
And Ms. Edwards, if you don't choose to answer that question, that's fine too. I will just take that into consideration when I write my decision.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Do you just choose not to answer?
Choose not to answer.
Okay, Ms. Edwards has chosen not to answer, and I will take that into consideration when I write my decision.
Is that based on, is she taking the Fifth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution?
Well,
why is she not answering? Is that based on the Fifth Amendment?
Well, the Fifth Amendment is something defendants take in criminal cases.
Okay, so
what
gives her the right to not answer?
I think she doesn't know.
She doesn't know? Is there anybody else on the phone that can speak of that?
Ms. Polanco, Ms. Palma?
This is the question on 22-003, classes of recipients.
I don't think these workers have an answer to your question.
Well, I mean, if you're an administrative law judge, then the wisdom of the administrative law judge would apply.
Mr. Kono, I am the judge. The people on the phone are county representatives.
Oh, you're the judge?
I'm the judge.
Okay, so then let me address the question to you.
Sure.
I'm sorry, your name is?
Swan. Andrea Yam Swan.
Andrea Swan. Okay, so Miss Andrea, I'm talking about the policy manual, WIC, right to a state hearing.
Okay.
And I'm talking about 22-003.
Yeah.
And it talks about classes of recipients. And I believe that means that there's different, you're not just indigent, you're indigent because of domestic violence or because of mental illness or because of convictions, ex-con criminal convictions, or because of STD or AIDS or COVID-19. There are different categories, different classes of recipients. So I believe that right now, after having a conversation with Corinne Gazarian and Rodney Williams back in the year 2020, they told me that there's only one class of recipient, and they all go to Weingart, which is a mental illness hospital. I'm not mentally ill. And so if I am a victim of domestic violence, if I am suffering from an STD or whatever the case may be, you're going to throw everybody into the Weingart where they get murdered there because you're saying everybody's mentally ill when they're not. I'm a victim of crimes and domestic violence. My money was stolen. So, Miss Andrea, I'm asking you, are there different classes of recipients, classes of, you know what recipients mean, it's in the 22-003. There are different classes of recipients. So, is that a yes or a no on that question? Are there different classes of recipients, or is it only one indigent, or is it only one mentally ill that you're putting in a mentally ill category, even though you're a victim of crimes of domestic violence or STD or handicap or you have convictions? I'm asking you, are there different classes of recipients as quoted in 22-003, yes or no?
I'm not sure I understand your question.
Okay. May you please read the State Hearing WIC Policy Manual, Right to a State Hearing, and it's 22-003. If you want, I have prepared a document that I was trying to upload earlier today, which is why I was late for the 2 o'clock.
I can pull it up.
If you want, if you give me your email address, I can email it to you right now. I have it on my phone right now, and I can email it to you right now if you want.
I can pull it up. Yeah.
No, I didn't get a chance to upload it. It's on my phone, so.
No, I can find the manual.
Okay.
So you said it's 20-003?
Yes.
Okay.
And it talks about classes of recipients.
Well, when I pull up 20-003, I see definition of fraud.
Okay, do a search for classes.
And is this for CalFresh, CalWorks? What are we talking about?
Probably CalWorks. It's 22-003.
I'm not seeing a 20. You said 20 or 22?
22-003.
Oh, 22. Okay. And you understand that CalWorks is for people with children?
Not necessarily, because you don't have a category for general relief, so general relief falls into CalWorks.
Oh, I see what you're saying. General relief. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Kono, general relief is a program that I have. I actually don't have jurisdiction over general relief.
Right, but according to 22-003, your wisdom and your qualifications are in question here because you do have jurisdiction, and I'm objecting to it, and I'm giving you opposition.
All right, fair. All right, I see it. So a state hearing shall be available to a claimant who is dissatisfied with a county action or inaction on a county-administered state aid program and requests a hearing in the manner set forth below.
You have to look at the -003 part.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Or if you want, you can just do a search for classes.
Okay, so I should look up the word classes.
CLASSES.
Okay, notwithstanding.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Your Honor, this is Lisa Polanco. If I may, a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
Can I say something?
Yes,
in regards to the jurisdiction part that you, Mr. Kono is attempting to address here?
Sure.
I think what is happening is that when it is stated that there's no jurisdiction to address general relief in a state hearing, it's pretty much letting us know that the state does not have authority to look into general relief issues. That's a county-funded program where usually if there's some kind of adverse action, you're addressing it at the district office, not in a state hearing. So this is when the word that comes up, there's no jurisdiction, is because there is no, we don't have jurisdiction to address general relief issues here in a state hearing. So maybe I hope that kind of helps clarify.
And does anyone have the number for the general relief hearings officer?
Your Honor, this is Ms. Edwards. They're located in each office that serves general relief clients.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to tell you why I object to this, because 22-003, if you will read it, specifically says there is no jurisdiction except, okay, I'm quoting you the word except if there are calculation errors with adjustments of $10,000 that were entered as zero, except adjustments of $10,000 to zero, and except of classes of recipients and other exceptions like non-disclosure. Tracy Green was indicted and incarcerated. I was never given disclosure. Also, my money, I'm not just regular indigent. You received a kickback from George Gasson, the district attorney, because you're part of his racketeering enterprise. And so what I'm saying to you is based on WIC 17109, you're supposed to take costs from restitution centers to pay for my food and my shelter and my showers. Instead, you're not doing that because you received money as a kickback and you don't want to pay back.
Okay. So
these are exceptions. And right now, we are getting diverted because I asked you one question and I wanted a yes or no answer from Miss Andrea. So, now we have switched the topic of position to accept calculation errors. But originally we were talking about classes of recipient, and I want to continue. I want satisfaction. I want an answer to classes of recipients on indigent or mentally ill. If you do have domestic violence or victim of crimes, and if you do, are those classes of recipients going to your Chippendale Playboys or other people that are part of your racketeering enterprise, or are they not given to anybody? Because I can conduct and I can serve through the sheriff a FOIA request, which is what the 2 o'clock hearing was about, FOIA request to see that there's a Leo Cannell and there's a Deja Futrell that was murdered, and there's other people that are impersonating me that are taking my benefits because there's some DPSS workers, Chippendale Playboy, and supplying you with methane and crystal meth and crack cocaine and cashback money.
So, Mr. Kono, at the end of the day, I have to write a decision over things that I have control over and that I have jurisdiction over.
Let me state the question again because I'm not satisfied with the answer. So let me ask it again.
Well,
this time, let's get an answer instead of diverting to another topic of position. Let's stick to one topic of position at a time, and let's get an answer.
Well, can I just say, sure. Mr. Kono, you're asking questions about subjects that you want to know about.
No, Jonathan Wang has stated that there is no jurisdiction based on the 22-001 through 22-008, and I actually conducted due diligence and I read 22-003, and I am objecting to Jonathan Wang's jurisdiction claim because there is an exception clause in there that talks about the wisdom of the administrative law judge, and I want to check your qualifications, Department of Homeland Security I-9 form, because there is the State Appeals Board that has minimum qualifications, and I can show you that website, the minimum qualifications for an administrative law judge published by the California State Appeals Board. And also it talks about classes of recipient and calculation errors. I entered $5,000 worth of expenses, adjustments, and deductions on the LRS applications online for CalFresh, CalWorks, and I guess general relief. And so what's going on here is also in the SAR 7, I provided a list of expenses that because of inflation and because of my litigation in the Supreme Court, my costs have gone up from $5,000 to $10,000, but you entered zero. And I have proof that Rodney Williams and Karina Xerian had 3 line items where they entered like $200 or $300 for adjustments. And now, first of all, there was so much fraud that when I receive a statement now from Wilshire Special 10, they're so afraid that there is no accountability. They won't even give you the worker's name. Before, they used to give you the worker's name, Rodney Williams, worker name, Karina Xerian. There is so much fraud going on. There is no accountability. They won't even give you the DPSS worker's name. because they entered zero for adjustments, and I have $10,000. They entered zero. So if you read 22-003, which was quoted by Jonathan Wang as his claim to the jurisdiction, I am objecting and opposing to that because 22-003 states that unless there are calculations errors of adjustments being entered as zero, which are really $10,000, and unless you're treating me like a mentally ill patient or you're treating me like an indigent when I'm a successful computer consultant that's a victim of crimes and domestic violence, and also the wisdom of the administrative law judge is questioned because you are confirming and you're validating.
Yes.
You're giving an affidavit to adjustments of zero. You're giving an affidavit to an adjustments of zero, and I want to check your qualifications because the California Administrative Law Judge State Board hearing, they have minimum qualifications. I don't think you have the minimum qualifications, and I think you have an ex-con criminal background record, and you cannot even produce the Homeland Security I-9 form because I believe that the name that you're giving is fraudulent and there is no accountability.
Okay. Ms. Polanco?
This is Ms. Palma.
Ms. Palma.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I know that I was late to hear, but I really don't understand what issue are we discussing at this time. Can you please clarify which issue we are addressing?
Go ahead.
Okay. The issue is that you are saying that there is no jurisdiction for the state or the county on whatever the statement of position is. You're claiming that your conclusion is that there is no jurisdiction. And I'm objecting to that because Jonathan Wang has provided a WIC and State of California appeal hearing code of 22-001 through 22-008, I believe. And I conducted. This is for CalWorks, which is General Relief is part of CalWorks. Am I right?
No.
Okay. General Relief is part of what then?
General Relief is its
a
own
county
program.
funded program.
Then how come when I go online and I apply for the LRS application, I have to apply for CalWorks in order to get General Relief cash aid?
If you apply for CalWorks and the CalWorks application, if you have no children or if you're not pregnant, it will be denied. If your issue is, at this point, is General Relief, that is what the county is raising the issue of jurisdiction.
But you know what? The county is saying this doesn't mean the county is wrong. You are blatantly breaking the law. You can say whatever you want, but if you read the Welfare Institutions Code law, it is contradictory to what you're saying. You can say whatever you want, but if you read the State of California law, you will see that what you are saying and what the law is saying are two different things. Read WIC 17109, read 22-003, read the California law. What you are stating that is the law is fraud.
Okay,
Your Honor,
so all right.
I want to make sure that
Yeah.
we clarify what the issue is at hand. The claimant has been speaking for a long period, and I still don't see that the issue is being addressed.
Okay,
Can you
I will ask you again, what are the classes, are there classes of recipients, yes or no? Answer yes or no. Are there classes of recipients, yes or no?
All right.
I do not have an answer to your question, Mr.
Ms. Andrew, are there classes of recipients, yes or no?
Okay, I don't understand the question, Mr. Kono. We have a couple
Okay.
different
Let me
issues.
address the next one because it's also important. So,
Mr. Kono?
Exception and unless on calculations, okay? Adjustments were entered as zero. I have evidence that I have $10,000 worth of expenses and adjustments, deductions were entered as zero. What is your answer on that?
I did not handle your case. I am the judge reviewing the county's action. So I have all the paperwork.
There's fraud going on because they entered zero.
Okay. All right. So I will review that. We have 3 county representatives here who are familiar with your CalFresh case. They are not familiar with your General Relief case, and they are familiar with the issue of whether you're entitled to the case files that you requested from the county. Are there specific things that you would like to discuss
Let's talk
now
about CalFresh.
about CalFresh? Okay. We talked about CalFresh. I know that your argument is that
What is your conclusion?
I have to
I'm not satisfied with an answer because I didn't hear your answer. So let me.
All right, Mr. Gono, let me tell you how this hearing works. I hear all the testimony, I review all the documents that are uploaded, and then I write a decision.
Okay. So for confirmation purposes, I have stated, and this room is being video recorded, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can always
Just audio, not video.
We can always go back to the audio
Absolutely.
recording. And I believe that I will also like the FBI U.S. Attorney, the IRS, and Homeland Security to have access to this audio recording. Okay, because I'm under the Federal Witness Protection Program, and it's administered by those federal agencies and the United States military that I mentioned. So the question is that I'm telling you one thing, and so for confirmation purposes, can you please tell me what I told you about CalFresh? Because I'm willing to repeat what I said about CalFresh, but you want me to stay quiet. So for confirmation, what did I say?
So your concern with your CalFresh benefits is that you receive $280 a month.
Right.
And due to inflation and the rising cost of groceries, you cannot afford to feed yourself on just $280 a month in CalFresh benefits, in addition to, taking care of your other medical issues and buying sanitary supplies and getting to and from wherever you need to go, taking public transportation. That is my understanding of your CalFresh issue.
Okay, but there's something else that you missed. You remember? Right. Okay, I will remind you.
Go ahead.
George Gasson, Los Angeles County District Attorney, along with Summer Hawkins, a.k.a. Michelle Daniels, Jessica Garcia, Tracy Anderson, and the rest of the people at Los Angeles County Restitution Centers and Victim of Crimes Compensation Board, they're stealing my $1.5 million, and they have been served a deposition subpoena, from the Los Angeles County Sheriff.
And how is that related to CalFresh?
I'll tell you why, because they're in contempt of court.
But how is that related to CalFresh?
Because of Welfare and Institutions Code 17109. It talks about indigent with an estate for jurisdiction.
But how is that related to your CalFresh benefits?
Tell you. Because according to the WIC 17109 California law, you're supposed to pay for my food, regardless of how much it is. You're supposed to pay for my shelter, even like $200 a night at a hotel. You're supposed to pay for vitamins that I'm using for medical supplies out of CalFresh, because it's not just CalFresh, but it's also buying vitamins and zinc, and I'm on a special diet in order to take care of the infections that I have all over my body. I'm living on antibiotic for over a year. My body is numb from antibiotic products, which I'm buying as food products because I'm not getting through medical, So my point is that you're supposed to pay for my hotel stay. You're supposed to pay for my food, even if it's like $1,400 a month. You're supposed to pay $1,400 a month. You're supposed to pay $150, $200 for my hotel stay. You're supposed to pay for my clothes, and if I get rained on or whatever, I need to replace clothes. You're supposed to pay for anything that I need, and your costs will be reimbursed from the restitution centers, because I do have a pot to piss in. I worked 33 years to make money for $1.5 million, if not more, because it's also lost business opportunity, lost income, emotional and physical pain and suffering, wrongful death of my children. So it's not just $1.5 million; it's more like 38 or 88 million. But let's talk about $1.5 million. Okay, so you can just go to George Gasson.
So all those arguments,
he will reimburse you for your costs.
All those arguments are in the recording, and so now you've reminded me of those arguments. I remember that now. So have we covered your CalFresh issues?
Well, are you going to write in your report that George Gasson has $1.5 million that you can use to reimburse yourself for my costs?
It's in my notes.
Okay.
All right. So Miss Palma is here.
Also, one other thing I want to mention is that the $280 for CalFresh is not, because of inflation, I can barely live on bread and water with that amount. But because I'm a victim of crimes and they're trying to assassinate me, I have a bag here full of zinc and calcium and vitamin E and vitamin C and sanitary. I'm eating like oatmeal, and I'm eating walnuts, and I'm eating cashew nuts, and I'm eating milk and oat milk. I'm eating all of these special diet products to cure my illness without going to the pharmacy. So for that reason alone, it should be more than $280, because I need the food for medical purposes, because I'm on a special diet for medical reasons. And please put that in your report.
Okay. Yes, and like I said, all of this is being recorded, so I can listen back to the recording and make sure that I get all the details.
Okay.
All right, so let's talk about the case files. You requested case files from the county. You did not get them.
I would like confirmation, because I say one thing and I want to make sure that you understood what I said clearly. So for confirmation purposes, may we please address the calculations of the recipient? Because I don't know if it is Miss Denise Edwards. I don't know if she's related to Ken Edwards and Will Smith and Deborah Smith.
This is the issue where the county has taken $0 in deductions, even though you have $10,000.
Exactly,
okay.
Which is published in the SAR 7 list.
Okay, so we've covered that. That problem is clear in my mind. So let's talk about.
But it's not so clear because there's also something else I want to mention, that these DPSS workers are getting kickbacks. For example, like these DPSS workers are getting prostitution from Chippendale dancers and NFL professional athletes, NBA professional athletes, baseball players. They're getting sex kickbacks and getting money kickbacks and getting drug kickbacks.
Okay,
and
that's a fair question.
Example, they enter zero for me, but they're claiming, because when I call in, I found out that there's a Leo Cannell with an A. And when I call in and I speak to some of the customer service representatives, they let me know that there are fraudulent significant others and Leo Cannell dependents. I don't have any dependents, but supposedly you're not telling me about dependents that are claiming my benefits. So even though you're entering zero, you might be entering a number to a fraudulent dependent of mine or a fraudulent significant other of mine, which is really your Chippendale, NFL, MLB, NBA playboy, or really your drug dealer who's giving you drugs, or really somebody else that you're giving $1,000 a month and is kicking you back $800.
All right. So, Mr. Kono, our county reps have been on the line now for an hour and a half, and I think they did their best
So we're clear on that.
Yes. So they did their best to answer my questions and your questions. So I'm going to adjourn the hearing. If you would like to let me know any other information, you could stay here and we can talk, but sure. I'm going to let the county representatives go, okay? They've submitted everything that they needed to submit as far as statement of position, and I will take all that into consideration when I write my decisions for your 3 cases. Anything further from Ms. Polanco, Ms. Palma, and Ms. Edwards?
There's one other thing based on 22.
Let me just ask the county representatives.
I'm not sure, but I believe I need to be sworn in.
I'm sorry, Ms. Palma. Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you have given so far and will give is true?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. And do I have any
no further information on the county side, Your Honor?
Ms. Polanco?
Nothing from Polanco.
Ms. Edwards?
Nothing from Edwards.
Okay, thank you all for your participation in this hearing. The time is 4:23 p.m. and the hearing is adjourned.
Thank you, Your Honor. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.